What's going on, guys? Jacoborth back here with another video of Jacob's Life in Vegas, talking to you guys about life in Vegas. And here's one I think a lot of you are going to find interesting. It's about the police here in Las Vegas and in this area, right? How strict are they? How loose are they? Are they nice? Are they rude? Are they all assholes, right? Whatever the case is. And I'm gonna have to kind of essentially just compare this to California, because that's where I grew up, born and raised in California until I moved here to Las Vegas. And it's interesting because when I first came here, I went 8 months or so without getting pulled over, getting a ticket for anything. And in California, geez, I don't know, like 8 times or something I got pulled over. I don't know the exact number. I have to go back and think about it. But in California, I was generally about 50-50 for getting out of a ticket or getting a ticket for something. So here in Nevada, I've actually been about the same, and I've only gotten pulled over like 2 times here so far as the making of this video. And one of them was for speeding, where I talked about in a video about getting a traffic ticket here, where the cop actually just wrote the ticket. I was either going 10 or 15 over the limit on the freeway, and he wrote the ticket for just like 5 over. So, you know, I would get like 1 point on my driving record, which is like nothing, really. You gotta get like 12 points or something before you really face penalty and get your license suspended. So he was nice about it. He said, wrote the ticket for a lesser speed. The other one I got was, actually, in that ticket, the speeding ticket, this is how much nicer Nevada's system is in California when it comes to traffic tickets. That ticket got automatically reduced down to illegal parking. So I didn't even get a point on my record. I just paid it like a parking ticket and that was it. Like, Nevada's got a great system when it comes to that kind of stuff. And then the other one, I was actually driving for Uber when it happened. I was driving this couple downtown and I made a left-hand turn. And I guess this couple was walking through the crosswalk, and the officer saw me, said I, you know, supposed to wait for the people to clear before I turned. So he pulled me over for that, and he just just took my license, ran it, made sure I didn't have any warrants outstanding or anything, and just like let me go. Like, he wasn't even that worried about it. So I've gotten to know some of the officers here. I mean, I work in nightlife, so I've gotten to talk to some officers who work in this area. Some I've met just around town. You know, I know guys, you know, you'll meet some at the gym or just, you know, around town, just when you're doing your everyday life, and you'll talk to them and they're fairly, you know, human, right? Because they're people after all. But here, I would say they're actually pretty relaxed. That's what I would say when it comes to police here. I've been surprised about that when it comes to the police and the highway patrolmen. They seem to be much more loose here than they are in California. California seem to be much more strict, much more by the book for the most part. And the penalties that you get in California for a lot of like moving violations and those kind of things are much more severe than they are here in the Las Vegas area. I mean, here, you know, I remember talking to a guy who works highway patrol here in Nevada, and he goes, oh yeah, he goes, I pull people over, he goes, I ride them for just doing 5 miles, whatever. He goes, all the time. He's like, I don't get anything extra. He's like, if I ride them for 15 or 25, he's like, I get nothing extra for it. He goes, so if they're cool, he goes, a lot of times I'm just riding for doing 5 miles over, you know, they just pay the tickets, a minimal ticket. He's like, and they just, you know, I let them move on with their life, you know, because, and some of it, I'm not exactly sure, like, I have 2 things in my head that I think might be why the officers are a bit more loose here. Is one, it's a different culture than Nevada, or a different culture than California. Nevada's culture is different. Where California, the government is huge. They have huge government budget, tons of public employees, and the state is very big and has a lot of control in California. Where here, the culture is essentially the opposite. Okay, here the culture is much more like live and let live. You know, if you're not hurting someone, then people usually don't worry about it too much, right? I mean, this is an area where we have legalized prostitution, 24-hour-a-day drinking, legalized gambling. I mean, you know, you can do those things without hurting people. So I think that's just part of the culture here. It's like, hey, you're not hurting someone, then it's not like as big a deal. So if you're doing 10 miles over the speed limit, maybe there's nobody around, or it's not, you know, you're not a huge threat to other people on the road. You may get pulled over for it, but you know, they may go light on you because it's just, you're not like out to be drag racing where you really risk killing someone. Okay, they're just gonna say slow down and write you a ticket for a lesser mileage than you were doing, and you know, you move on with your life. And the other theory I have is that really the police here cannot afford to go after like just small tiny stuff all the time, because right now their budget right now, they don't have any room in their budget to get more officers. They've been trying to get more officers in this area so they can get the ratio from 1 officer to about every 1,000 residents. And I think Metro will need to hire about 250 to 500 more officers to make that happen. So I think to a degree, they can't really afford to go after like small, like just little petty stuff every day, right? Someone who switches lanes without their blinker or something like that, okay? They have to focus more of their attention on the big things. Because I mean, I've been driving before where I was going down an off-ramp, or not even an off-ramp, I was going down this road where I think the limo's 45, and I was going over that, and this officer just pulls up next to me, and he hit his horn. I look at him, and he's just looking at me. He's like signaling 45, just saying like slow down. That's all he was doing. I was like, okay, so I slowed down. He just drove off, you know. So I was like, they got bigger things on their agenda to worry about, okay, than someone just going a little bit over the speed limit. So that's part of the reason I think it is too. Is different cultures, and obviously the budgets are different, okay? California has a much bigger budget for its police force than Nevada does. So I would say the police are actually fairly lenient here in the area in Las Vegas, much more lenient than what I've experienced in California. So if you guys are wondering about the police, that's my 2 cents on it here in Las Vegas compared to what I experienced in California. That's it for this video. I'm Jacob. This is My Life in Vegas.